Okay. So thanks for having me again. This is the third of these town halls that I've got the pleasure to be a part of. I noticed, though, that Stu says Mr. Stu Lichter. He's the landlord, and the lessee is just Paul Elio. So I don't know how that happened. So, last year when I was here, we had 6,000 reservations. Today we're over 38,000. So we had a lot of folks get engaged in the last 12 months. The more recent updates, we took the vehicle to the Consumer Electronics Show last week in Las Vegas. And, that's where the very first iPad was shown. That's where the very first iPod, and it's got a lot of stuff. It's the biggest show in Las Vegas annually. And CNET, which is covers electronics very well on the internet, they have like 15 million unique visitors a month. They're pretty substantial. Came up with a list of the 10 most talked about items at CES this year, and our vehicle was one of them. And then they did a poll of the 10 most talked about items at CES, which one would you most like to take home? And we ended up with 79% of the vote. The second place had 6, I think. So we took our vehicle to a, we took our vehicle to an electronics show, and it was a hit. We announced yesterday that we're going to start the very first Elio motor engine February 6th at IAB's dynamometer in the Detroit metro area. This is a watershed moment, I believe. To the best we can tell, the last time a startup American car company started its own internal combustion engine was Nash in 1951. So it's been a while since somebody pulled this off. And I think having our own engine is critical to our success. If we bought it from somebody else, one, they're going to charge a profit, right? So the cost of the vehicle goes up. I don't think anybody has the capacity that we need, and you lose control, strategic control over that capacity. And one of the big advantages we have is when the big guys do an engine, they're aiming at 6 platforms, and it's good for all but best for none. By having this engine purpose-built just for our engine, our architecture, it does exactly what we want to do, which is hit $6,800 and 84 miles per gallon. We will be manufacturing it here in Shreveport. Kamau will be supplying the equipment. Kamau is wholly owned by Fiat Chrysler, and they participate in the manufacture of 1 out of every 3 vehicles on the planet. They just got done doing the 3-cylinder line for Ford in Europe, and now they're going to install the 3-cylinder line here in Shreveport for us. On startup production, we are going to slip the date. That's the bad news of the year. So any large project, you have a lot of moving parts, and a lot of it's under our control, and I have a good understanding of how long that's going to take. And then you have the things that are outside of your control that you have to predict. And it turns out my crystal ball was cracked. My prediction was wrong. And it surrounds this next round of funding. That's really what sets up the rest of the timeline. So it's not in yet. About 90 days ago, we'd been doing it ourselves, and about 98 days ago we engaged Corporate Fuel Securities to marshal that private placement in New York. They spent the first 90 days doing in-depth due diligence and coming up with the required documents, and they are now going out to the market, and they're getting pretty good feedback, so I'm optimistic about that. The other thing that we have in our arsenal, though, is the surplus equipment at the plant. The day we bought that equipment, we probably overpaid a little, but it was worth it to us because it was all in one place and worked together, and we could use it for its intended purpose. Since then, prices for manufacturing equipment has gone up because the economy has recovered, and we've partnered with Kamau. And since they install this equipment around the globe, they know who needs it when. And so instead of selling it all in one day, if you give them 6 or 9 months to sell it to somebody who can use it right away, the value goes up. The sale of that surplus equipment will provide enough capital to get to the next level. So it's not an if, it's a when, and what will set up the rest of the timeline is the shorter of those 2 paths, the fundraising through Corporate Fuel Securities, or if we sell enough equipment. On our website and on our Facebook page, you can go there. The eBay store where we have the equipment listed, there's a link to it, so you can go see that the equipment actually is getting listed. They've listed over $17 million worth of equipment to date. So it's starting to get substantial, and Chris Lassen is here. Can you raise your hand or do a dance? There you go. No, do a dance. So yeah, so he's heading up the equipment sales for Kamau. He's here every other week, so you might want to go say hi to him. So I'm very excited about what we've accomplished so far. As you can imagine, this is an enormous undertaking. I'm incredibly proud of all of the partners that we have in this project. We have 34 of the world's best suppliers. I don't think Pep Boys was in place last year. Pep Boys is our authorized service provider. So we have 800 authorized service centers day one. So we have more authorized service centers than Volkswagen, Audi, BMW, a lot of brands, you know, we have less than Ford and GM, but it's enough that, like, nobody buys a Volkswagen and goes, how many in service, right? It's enough coverage. And we have several more of those that we can release over the coming months that we're working on right now. So again, I thank you for the support and for the opportunity to come out and meet with you. Thanks. And now, Mr. Lichter.
I really want to thank everybody for the opportunity to be here tonight and tell you how we're doing and what's going on. You know, one, when we bought the plant, we're absolutely convinced about the quality of that facility and the infrastructure and the quality of the community, and convinced that we could bring Elio and other good manufacturers and job creators to the facility. We're working on a couple of levels. One, we're spending a lot of corporate effort helping Paul Elio get the vehicle off the ground. I'm a big believer in it. We're a big company. We're invested in his company, and we continue to invest in this company both financially and in time and effort. That being said, it's very hard to start a big car company. The only people who have pulled it off in the United States in the last, 50, 60 years is Tesla. A lot of people have tried, and Paul is already further along than anybody else but Tesla in the amount of money he's raised in the design, you know, in moving it towards production. There's a clear path to getting it on the road. That being said, you know, only one person succeeded, so it's not an easy task, but we're working every day and we're confident it'll happen. That'll use about 40% of the plant. One of the things that we've done as a commitment to this car company and to Shreveport is we've set aside that 40% of the plant for Elio, and we have not been marketing it. You know, that being said, I think you probably all know we had one big car company look at the plant that wanted the entire thing, and we were going to move Elio to another facility in Shreveport. Since then, you probably haven't heard a whole lot, and the reason for that is when you're dealing with companies out there, they want confidentiality. So we cannot discuss all the things that are going on, and it's very unlikely you'll hear information until a deal happens. That doesn't mean nothing's going on. We've had a lot of international and U.S. companies at the facility, looking at the facility. We actually had a second major car company out of Europe that has been looking at the facility very, very seriously. Unfortunately, not 3, 4, 5 days ago, they said their sales were a little disappointing, so they put the project on hold. We have yet another major car company that will be looking at the facility in the next 3 weeks. And we've had an Asian bus manufacturer that's we're currently dealing with that I can't identify. And we've had a major rail car manufacturer that recently opted to go to a facility in North Carolina, and we were down to 2 facilities. Those are just some of the users. You know, we can't identify names that we've dealt with. So there is a lot going on for the portions of the facility that Paul will not be using. You know, we're committed to it. We have people marketing the property consistently on an international basis. And we will succeed and bring a whole bunch of jobs here, and we're delighted to be in this community. You guys are just great. Both the political people that welcome here and everybody I meet in Shreveport. I just love y'all. And I'm from the Bronx. So for me to say y'all is not easy. Okay, thank you.